Okay, so the finishing touches of the scarf first, and then we'll look at the rest of the snowman. What I want to do is tack this down so these edges are in place, and I want to create basically like a little fringe here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going along each edge like this and creating that cloth. Stab a wee bit here and there, but when you stab the body of it, you want to be careful not to stab a straight line because you don't want to create a dip. You want to just have it be a little tacked down like that. Now it's tacked down where I want it, so now I'm going to take scissors and I'm actually going to cut like that, and then I'm going to fuzz that out to create a bit of a fringe. Once I have my fringe, I'm going to go straight across like this and tack that down. Now I'll do that on the other side. So I'm going to take it like this first, and I'm going to go along both sides. And as I'm stabbing it into the snowman, but just barely into the snowman. You can see how I'm going like this. Now, you want to decide, do you want this side longer or shorter? I'm going to make it a little bit longer. So when I cut my fringe, I'm going to cut them way down here. Then I'm going to splay this out a wee bit and then tack down and make my little line. Tack a little bit of the scarf itself down here. Get that out of there. All right, now the last thing I do is I take my fine needle and I go over the body here and there, making sure that I don't have a whole lot of like threads, fuzziness sticking out. I also go along the bottom. Remember we had made a little divot there? Well, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to take that little divot and I'm really going to reinforce it, because between the snow we put on it and all of our handling of it, it comes a little undone. So I want to make sure I have a good solid divot there, because I want to make sure it's going to stand up straight. See, that popped right over. So what that means is I need to poke it a little more towards the front to balance that out. There we go. Perfect. All right. Now I'm going to look at the hat and I'm going to make sure that I have that felted down as well as I want it. And again, I want to make sure that there's no bleeding of one color into another. So if I have a little strand of something, for some reason there was some dark, I guess some of the black got into this, so I just pull the black out like that. If I want to, I can tighten up the mouth and make it a little smaller. I can tighten up the nose and make that a little smaller. One of the things that sometimes I do is along the edge where I put the scarf in, like in here, it's like the snowman is popping up above the scarf. So I will go along and actually poke straight down to flatten out the snowman a little bit, and then that lifts the scarf up a little more. Makes the scarf a little more pronounced. So you can do that as well. And there we are. There's our happy little snowman. Ta-da! All right. Enjoy. Don't hesitate to ask if you've got any questions.